Spring dies are an incredibly useful tool. Let's take a look at the way I made this spring die this morning. So what do you say we take a look at making that spring die? Now I typically use these under the power hammer. You can use them under the treadle hammer. You can make them just for use at the anvil. You could make fixed dies for use under a fly press or a hydraulic press. Lots of ways you can adapt this idea, and the key to this particular set of dies is that they start with an old bearing race. So bearing races are just what ball bearings fit inside of to make a working bearing assembly. There's an inner race that could be cut and straightened out, and an outer race that we're going to cut and straighten out. You just have to decide how many segments you want to cut this in. If you do 4, you can get 2 different tools out of this. If you do 2, it's real wide, but I don't know that it needs to be that wide. And then once we've got it cut and straightened, we just have to weld it to a handle very similar to this one. And then we should have a workable tool. I don't know what steel these bearing races are made out of, but they're really tough stuff. I'm not going to bother hardening and tempering them. I don't think it'll need it. That in 4 pieces. I think these 2 small ones, I'll make a die that leaves them in the round profile, and that will smooth up round material a little bit better. It will require some sort of a filler on the ends to support those ends, but that doesn't have to be anything too special. The longer ones will need to be adjusted a little bit for size, but I think I'll straighten them out and make them flat first, and then we'll cut and make a handle. For the handles on small dies like this, I like 1/4 by 3/4 material. As the dies get a little bigger, I might go up to 1/4 by 1 flat stock for this. It's just mild steel. This doesn't need to be hardened and tempered. There's plenty of spring in here. There's no reason to use spring steel for these. It's just unnecessary. Now I'm going to flatten these out over a wood block with a rawhide mallet. And that way I don't deform my depression that I'm looking for. Just try not to forge this down into a hole in the stump. And once I've got them pretty close to flat, I can go to the anvil as long as I put the flat side down. And then I can come back with the rubber mat or the rawhide mallet on top. I only want to work the side with the depression up with the rawhide mallet. I don't want to mess that up on the anvil. Frequently when I make a set of dies like this, I shape the handle first because I'm just welding the die to the end of the handle. But because of these being thin flat sections, I'm going to weld them flat to the handle, and that'll make sense in just a minute. But then we'll bend the handle and get the spring part shaped after the dies are welded on. These flat ones are very simple. They're just going to get welded up right to the bar here, just like that. But these curved ones need some sort of support because whatever you do, it's going to be more inclined to bend or break the weld. So I'm going to put some little wedges under here. I'll get it all welded up first, and then I'll grind the wedges flush with the top of the curve here, and that way it's got a little kiss block or a stop available as well. Now, an important consideration when welding tool steel to mild steel is that you need to preheat the tool steel. So initially I'm just going to tack weld this so everything stays together, stays lined up. Then I'll put it back in the forge and bring it up just to around 400 degrees or so, just hot enough to see some tempering colors running or something like that. Then I'll come back and I'll weld it, then let it slow cool. I've got this all welded up, and I've gone ahead and ground the weld down so that there's nothing that, if the material you're forging starts to overlap that weld area, there's not something there that's going to leave a telltale sign of the weld. You only want the die part to affect the work. Also make sure there's no weld splatter inside the die. If there is, find a way to remove it without gouging up the inside of the die. Next thing we want to do though is bend the handles, bend the spring part. And I'm just going to mark off a little bit here that I can find, and I'll bend this up cold, and then we'll finish it in the forge. And the only reason I want to go ahead and start this cold like this is just so I can get the loop part in the forge without having to get the whole thing hot. And I bring the ends of this together so that I can keep them more or less aligned. And work them around the pipe. That's really about all there is to it to get the spring handle shaped. No hardening or tempering because it's just mild steel. Well, that's just one way to make a spring die, in this case using old bearing race that already has a profile, pretty much what we want. There are lots of other ways to do this, and we'll look at more techniques at some point in the future. I do hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. If you haven't done so already, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button. Stick around, watch a few of the other videos, share the videos with your friends, but then by all means, make time in your day to get out to your shop, make something, but stay safe, wear your safety glasses. We'll see you for the next one.